Hello, hey, hi, welcome back to another video. Today I am doing another challenge video. It's about time that I do a in 1 week challenge. I think it's been like 2 months since I've posted one of these, and so far we have done a sweater, we have done granny squares, we have done socks, and now I want to do bucket hats. I want to make a ton of bucket hats. I both do solid and also like a two-toned bucket hats, and these are granny stitch also. I don't think I said that. Hence my name. I want to make a lot of things with the granny stitch because it is just so nice to make. I think it looks just so classic crochet, and so I'm going to be making a bunch of bucket hats. I've already picked out my first color set, and it is going to be this kind of coral paired with this yellow. I do have other full skeins. Obviously these are not enough to make an entire bucket hat, but this is a good start for sure. And yeah, we are just going to see how many I can make in 1 week. Today is Tuesday morning, so we will have until the end of next Tuesday to make as many bucket hats as physically possible. These don't typically take me too long, maybe like an hour and a half, so I'm hoping we can get through quite a few. I do have plans today, so it will decrease my time a little bit, but I have a feeling we can knock out quite a few if I try hard enough. I think goal for as many as I want to make, I would say at least one a day, so at least 8 technically, because today through next Tuesday is 8 days, but I would like to get maybe an extra 2 in there, so I'm gonna say 10. If I can make 10 bucket hats in a week, that feels pretty good. I also have a few others that I've already made, and I don't want to make repeat colors, so I have a pink and red, I have a yellow and white, a pure white, a pure blue, and then a variegated blue. So I think I'm okay on blues, so I'd like to make some more solid colors, and then also some fun variegated, or some fun like dual tones. I have an image on my phone of like pretty nice 2 colors that go well together. That's where I got this kind of coral and yellow from. I pulled these from my scraps, so that's how I decided on this. So I think I'm going to refer to that image quite a lot to figure out what other colors look good together that I can make. I think that's all I have for the intro of this video, so I think we should just get started. Good morning. It is now Wednesday. We started yesterday. I finished 1 bucket hat. I think this looks so cute. So happy with this. It's definitely very fun, very summer vibes. What do we think? It definitely is different because I mixed Big Twist favorite cotton, which is much softer kitchen cotton, with Lily Sugar and Cream. So it's definitely like a little bit weird to have that like just juxtaposition, but overall it feels pretty soft, so I'm pretty happy. I also started another one last night and I got pretty close to finishing. I'm using this kind of scrap leftover variegated yarn with this purple from the Big Twist favorite cotton. I thought that it would just complement each other pretty well, and I would say it is. We are, as you can see, pretty far. I think I have 2 or 3 more rows, including the single crochet border. But yeah, this one's looking pretty good so far too. Ignore the strings that are attached. We're just starting the brim portion. I think I have one row of the brim, so it kind of flares out just a little bit. Overall, super happy with these so far. I'm gonna try to use the big twist first, just because I think it is a little bit softer, and that's nice for the bucket hats. Yeah, I think my next one might be blue. It might be green. I'm thinking green, or I might do another mix. I'm not sure, but I also feel like I need some more solid colors. Or maybe like a dual tone of a solid color, like a light green with a dark green. I think so. This is definitely getting finished today. If I can get another one completely finished too, that would be great. So far, 1.7 done. It is now Friday evening. Hello. I should probably check in with you since it has been a few days. I think I checked in Wednesday morning, maybe. I have made a total of 4. Yay! Since this is day 4, that's pretty good. We did the yellow and peach on Tuesday, and then we started the purple. And then Wednesday, we finished the purple and started a gray. And then Thursday, we finished it. And today, Friday, we did a yellow and sage. 4 days, 4 bucket hats. We're pretty much on track. Although I would like to make 10, so therefore I have a little bit of catching up to do. But not terrible. I haven't weaved in all of the ends. I think actually just one. So that's a later me problem. I'm feeling pretty good so far. I'm happy with the progress, but in order to get to my 10, I do have to speed things up a little bit and not take a break like Thursday where I only did half. Luckily, we are approaching the weekend, so hopefully it won't be so bad because I should have more time during the day to make more. And I do have a little bit of time today. I have another skein. This is soft terracotta, so I'm hoping to get some work on this tonight. Probably not going to finish. It's kind of late. But at least get some stuff done. 4 days, 4 bucket hats. Feels pretty good. Should be on track to hit 10. Hoping. Probably. Maybe. We'll see. Good morning. It is Saturday. My plan for today. Get through the rest of this hat. I think I was on row 11 or 12, so we're getting close to the brim, which is only I think like 5-6 rounds. Anyway, I also have a bunch of other yarn sitting on my desk. These I'm pretty sure I all have extra full skeins of, so I want to make all of these like solid hats, not like every other row. Also just because I have a lot of every other row hats that I think it's time to move on to some solid colors. So that's my plan. I'm hoping to get through this one plus an extra one just to kind of catch up for the days that I didn't finish any to get to my goal of 10 by the end of Tuesday. So far we are at 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be 5, and this is day Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So yeah, get that extra one up. This is top priority, plus 1, hopefully 2 to get us back on track to get that 10 hats that I wanted by the end of Tuesday. And then tomorrow maybe an extra one, like do 2 more. So then it'll be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That would be pretty cool. I don't know if that's gonna happen. That's a lot of crocheting. Basically, I want to get rid of all of my big twist yarn, all of the like little bits that I have left of this, which really actually aren't all that many. So basically try to get all of this knocked out by bucket hats. If I run out of this, or just I have like little bits that aren't enough to like make an actual bucket hat, then I'm thinking I will switch over to the kitchen cotton. Or, ooh, good idea, scrap granny square bucket hat with all of like the weird leftover bits and bobs. That could be a good idea. This is my plan, to get rid of all of this first, and then I can supplement with the kitchen cotton. And then I'll also see whether or not I have more solid or more like dual tone bucket hats. I don't know if that's the right word to use. The every other color. Every other row color. That's a weird thing to say. Anyway, yeah, that's my plan. Get through as much of this as possible while making as many bucket hats as possible. Good evening. It is now Sunday night. We have 2 more days in our challenge, and I'm feeling pretty good. This afternoon, I finished this. This is the last bit of purple that I had, and for a while I was a little nervous that I was gonna run out of yarn. Like, it felt very close. This is how much I had, so I had a little bit extra, but I was very nervous that I was gonna like have to like pull out like a deeper purple or something for the border, the single crochet border all the way across, just because it felt very similar to like this one where I ran out on the like last row before the border, and so I needed to tie on the other skein that I have. So I was very afraid that I was gonna have to do something similar for this, but this is all I have left. So I wasn't able to like go to my backup skein, so I was definitely a little afraid, but everything worked out, and we are now up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hats, which feels pretty good for 2 more days, and I'm wanting 10. I am working on number 9. I chose brown, just a solid brown, trying to get some of those solid colors back in the mix. And so yeah, this is going pretty well. I probably won't finish it tonight, but definitely tomorrow, and then I will also start on another one tomorrow. And I'm thinking this light blue, I know I already have a few blues, but I feel like I've strayed away from them so far this week, and unfortunately blue is inevitable. So I'm thinking this light kind of sea glass blue, they call it tranquil blue is the color. So I'm thinking this for a solid, and then I have a bunch of skeins that are like this, maybe a little bit fuller, or most of a skein, and so I'm going to try to pair them together to try to fill out the rest of my hats, and also just to get rid of these, because this isn't really a whole lot, but it's not nothing. So I feel like bucket hats are a pretty good option for the rest of the yarn. If I am able to, I also wouldn't mind making some tops out of the rest of the yarn if there's enough, so I might save some of the bigger skeins so that I would be able to do those things. But yeah, definitely trying to get all of the little scraps out of here. I'm doing a really good job of getting rid of my yarn from here. This is all of my labels that I've finished from this little challenge. This is crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So basically, like, one from each hat has knocked out an entire skein. My cubes have a little bit more room to breathe, which is good because they definitely need the room. Hopefully I can knock out at least 3 more, maybe 4 more, as I start to get to like these like weird half partial skeins. hopefully I can knock out even more of those labels. Definitely this brown, definitely this blue. See if we can get any others. I know I already have 2 that are like half yellows, but there's enough of like yellow still left to do another half. So I'm thinking we do another half yellow, and I think I'm gonna pair it with the other half of this blue because I have a whole full skein of this too. So I think that might be perfect. And I think that's very spring vibes, which is good because this will be in the summer. So you want nice, light, fun, bright colors in the summer. That's my plan. That's where I'm at. I have a little bit more time to keep working on this brown one. Not a ton. Probably going to go to bed soonish. So definitely won't finish this tonight, but I'll probably get a few more rows in. So it may or may not be Tuesday night, right before I go to bed. But I almost completed this hat. I have like this many more single crochets until I'm done. So it's basically done. So brown, we can complete that. That makes 9. Tomorrow is our last day, which I'll finally actually make the blue. I'm also going to bring extra yarn with me onto campus so that I can make 2 hats and not just make 10 for the week. Hopefully make 11. Try to at least beat our goal of what we had originally. The last few days I've just been slacking. I'm kind of hatted out. I feel like I can't batch make things that well. I do, and then I'm exhausted of making those things by the end. I just want to do literally anything else, but I can't. So, this is why my progress has slowed significantly, and we have 1 more day. I'm gonna do my best. I'm really gonna push myself to try to finish both this hat and another hat. We're really gonna try. We're really gonna try. I promise. I haven't figured out what my other color combination is. I have a few like littler skeins left over that I really want to tackle, and then some that are more like this where they're like fairly full skeins with just like a little bit taken out. So I'm going to prioritize these, see if I can match up 2 of these together. Oh, that's right, I was going to do the rest of this and a yellow, I think. I think that can be pretty good. I'm going to weigh it just to make sure that it is enough, but I'm sure it will be. 1 more day. Sorry I haven't updated you at all. Oops. It's a really good in 1 week challenge. I've done so good this week. I mean, I started off really strong, which is good because that's what I should do. I should start off strong so that I can taper out in the end and still, like, be okay and reach my goal. It might not be how many can I physically make, it's how many can I mentally make. Anyway, I'm going to go to bed, and I'll see you tomorrow.
At the time, and still to this day, this was absolutely horrible to hear, especially considering Shelby herself was very much a beloved person in the streaming community.
Hello. It is Tuesday evening. I still have some work time, but first, this morning, I finished off the like 6 stitches that were left on this hat. So this chocolate brown is officially done. Then, while I was in class, I finished up this one, which is this nice, very light blue one that I was telling you about yesterday. And then I just finished this one. This is the same blue that I used here, and then the yellow. So I've officially used the yellow in 3 different ones, but they've all been like half and half. Plus I think I actually have another one. So I technically have like 4 half and half yellow ones, all with different colors. I think white, blue, green, and peach coral. So, pretty happy. This is all of the yellow that I have left. And I have a little scrap pile. Here's the purple, here's the tan, here's the sage, and then here's that kind of purple bluey mixture. I'm thinking maybe once I finish the rest of the stack of this that I have, maybe I'll do like a scrap one. I think that could be really cute. I don't have that many more colors left. I have this much left of that very light blue, and then I have a medium blue, which I haven't actually used in this video, and then I have a variegated bluey green, a light and a medium gray, and then partial skeins of these two. These ones feel like oddballs because I'd rather not have duplicates, but they don't really go with much of anything else for this yarn. I'm thinking I might pair them with the like Lily Sugar and Cream yarn that I have, and maybe I can make some cute half and half ones. This one I think will be easier because it is more variation in color. There's a lot more happening, whereas this one I have to be pretty creative. This is basically like a beige cream with little specks of like blue and pink in there. It makes a very fun texture, but I'm not sure what to pair it with, so I'll have to look at my stash and hold up some things. I have a little bit more time to work tonight, but overall not a ton. I definitely don't think I'll be able to make another hat, but I think we should be able to get maybe halfway through. I unfortunately don't really have another solid left, at least not enough to make a whole solid that I don't already have one. Those just work up a little bit faster, so because I'm not having to change color every single round, so that would have been fun. However, not a big deal. I'm thinking I'm just going to go ahead and finish off this little bit of blue and pair it with the medium blue that I have. I don't think I'll be able to quite finish it, but definitely some progress to at least go towards our tally of number of hats. So I'm going to keep working on this and I'll check in later. Good morning. I was too tired last night to give a little check-in, so it is officially Wednesday morning, but our challenge is done. I completed most of the actual head portion. I have one more row before I start the brim of this one, so we're gonna call this halfway done, just because the brim takes a little bit longer than the actual head portion. Even though the head is more rows, the brim gets wider. So we're gonna call this half. But that means that we made 11 and a half hats in 1 week. That's pretty crazy. I think this stack looks so good, like all with each other. Plus I have a few more that I didn't make this week that I made before. But yeah, overall I'm so happy with this. I think I'm gonna walk you through every single one and just as a little recap of what all we did this week. Obviously we ended with this one. This is the color Daylight Blue and Tranquil Blue, every other row, and I think it's coming out pretty good. I should finish this today, but doesn't count for a challenge because it wasn't in the week. We have the Tranquil and the Yellow Blue half and half. I think this one came out so cute, so spring. Absolutely wonderful. So happy about this. We have one pure Tranquil Blue, solid. I think this is just such a pretty light blue. I think it can go with basically anything. It's a very summer hat just because of that very light color, and honestly, I just love a very light blue. I think it's just such a good color. We have a chocolate brown, just solid chocolate. I know some people, they're not into the whole like super crazy fun colors, so I think this is a pretty good neutral while also not just being gray. So yeah, I like chocolate brown. Then we have a solid purple. This is a pretty medium color purple. I don't know how well it's picking up on camera, but yeah, just a normal solid purple. I'm so happy with this yarn choice. It is like super soft. And I think it just makes a really great bucket hat because it's not like so structured or like itchy like some of the kitchen cotton, but it's like just soft enough to make a nice bucket hat. Bucket hats aren't my style. I think I look bad in them, so I apologize for however I just looked. Then we have this kind of tan cream with these specks of kind of blue and pink. I think this is just a little fun thing. Again, kind of a neutral, but then with some like extra pizzazz with that pink and blue kind of in there, and it's kind of sometimes leans more tealy blue and sometimes leans more like bluey blue, but yeah, I just think this one is really fun. Then we have this pink, tan, and kind of brown. It kind of almost gives me like a Neapolitan ice cream kind of vibe, but it's still really fun, really cute. That pink really pops out, I think, so any pink lovers might like this one. We're almost done with our solids. This is our last solid. A nice simple gray. I think, again, some neutrals instead of some fun colors. I myself am a big gray fan, so I think this one also turned out really great. Next we have sage and yellow. I had quite a few yellow half and halves in this video, and I think the sage turned out really well. I will say I ran out of my one color sage and had to switch to a different, so I don't know if you can tell the difference between these two sage greens. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. But yeah, I think this turned out super cute. It's very like lemon lime vibe, even though I think lime isn't quite sage green. I still like it. I like it a lot. My stack is like getting so tall. We have another gray. This is actually gray and cream, but it almost makes it look like a dark gray and light gray, which I love. I love the contrast between these two colors. I think it just makes it pop a lot, while still being also neutral. So it's fun, but also like neutral and can go with quite a lot, I think. Then we have the purple that I had in a few hats ago with this kind of blue, purple, light blue, kind of variegated, and so they are every other row. I think it's nice because it's not just this kind of variegated color all over again. I think it gives it some more interest than that. So I'm probably going to pair a solid with a variegated a few more times, as I have a few left over, and I think it makes it so weird to look at, but I kind of like that. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to move this stack. It's like in the way. Our last color is this yellow and kind of peachy coral color. I think this is also one of my favorites. It's just so spring, it's so summer, vibrant. I also wove in my ends on this one. Good job, me. And I just think it's so cute and fun. And I love it. I love it so much. I think this one is probably one of my favorites, which is funny because it was the very first one that we made this week. Overall, I'm so happy with how this week went. I made so many hats. We beat our goal, even though it was just by 1.5. I think that's still a pretty good accomplishment for 8 days, making 11.5 hats. I'm super proud of myself. I'm super happy with the color distribution, how I didn't just do all blues or all greens. I think I could have a few more greens. I just don't have any in this particular color. The only one I had was the sage, which I used all of it, as you can see. And yeah, I'm really happy with what I've accomplished. I'm really happy with the fact that I now have a ton of bucket hats to sell on my market coming up in July. I know that I keep talking about it a lot, but it's my first market, and I also don't, like, this isn't my full-time job, so I feel like I need to make things in order to fill up my booth. So I need to start like a few weeks ago, which I did. And so I just feel like I need to keep making things and keep building up stock, so I'm going to be mentioning it a lot. And then whatever I don't sell will go on my website for you guys if you want it, or some things I might just end up donating, which is fine. A part of me just honestly wants it gone and out of my apartment. Taking up all this space is not preferred. Another thing that was really awesome is look at all of these yarn labels. These are all, I think except for one, all yarns that I finished in this video, just making 11.5 hats. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So basically one from every hat, which is awesome. My plan this year was to get rid of as many skeins of yarn as possible, and so this made a huge dent in my, oh my gosh, what is it called? Stash. This made a huge dent in my stash, and I'm just so happy about that. I obviously have a lot more work to do, and I have unfortunately bought more yarn in kind of a panic. However, we are getting through it. It will all be used eventually. I mostly just want to get rid of the kind of oddballs in my yarn. The stuff that is no longer being made, like the Big Twist favorite cotton, or the weird little bits and bobs that I have that I just want gone. Things that I have ideas for, I want to actually do those ideas. So this was a really good way to use up a bunch of my yarn, and I'm just so happy, like, to look at all of these labels just this week. Just this week. That was awesome. Yeah, I think that's really all I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, make sure you like it. Subscribe so that you don't miss any of my future videos. I make a lot of crochet challenges like this one, crochet vlogs, so if you're into that stuff, why don't you stick around? I think that's all I have, so thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.